And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OC as we returned with the semifinals of the WardiTV Monday number 16. Shout out to Zana and Kira, by the way. They had a banger of a quarterfinals match they just wrapped up, which means we can finally embrace the semifinals. Let's go. These two players have been patiently waiting the entire time, and we are jumping into our best of 3 PvT. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of King's Cove, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Weibo Gaming WBG. It is herO. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat as we do embrace our semifinals. As a reminder, though, I say as a reminder, there is a new update, a new kind of way of doing things here in this final WardiTV Monday of the year. Zan and Kira, they just wrapped up, and I believe their match versus Björn is going to be happening at the same time. Typically in WardiTV Monday, we cast one semifinals and then the other and then the grand finals, but I believe this week it is going to be a little bit different, and both semis are going to be happening at the same time instead. So we do have a bit of a faster bracket as a result. Regardless, we're going to be settling in, and we do have initial openers. It is going to be double gas out of Clem. Meanwhile, we do have our Gate Cyber Expand out of herO. Here we go. And again, this is going to be a rematch. We have seen both herO and Clem face off time and time again. They have been facing off very regularly in these online events. Again, herO is a very active player in the online tournament scene. Likewise, so is Clem, so it's only natural that they face off so often. And we'll see which way this goes this time. Both herO and Clem, they often go back and forth. We do often get a bang of a series going into the ace match more often than not as well. We'll see if we can get that here in a best of 3, though. As I believe this is a rematch of last week's finals. Let me just double check that. I know that we weren't able to cast WardiTV Monday number 15. I do recall that at least. But what about 16? Sorry, 14. What to say? Yes, so this is a rematch. Back 2 weeks ago in WardiTV Monday number 14, Clem versus herO. They were in a best of 5. They went all the way to the ace match, and it did go all the way. It did end up going Clem's way. Did go in favor of Clem, just barely. We'll see if herO can get his revenge. For the time being, we do see Clem poking in. Just poking and prodding. We do have our tech of choice. Going to be a Twilight Council opener out of herO. Meanwhile, back across map, Clem with double gas going into Reactor Reaper Hellion. A much more assertive, much more aggressive start here from our French Terran player. With Reaper Hellion, the goal here should be to bust into a mineral line and to wreak havoc to the economy. To get some probe kills. We'll see if he can. As for now, we do see herO zoning Clem back. I'll zone him away. So far, trading with the army. Does get eyes on the entire setup here. The Adept and the Zelda are going to be going down. And from here, it's going to be on Clem to just counterattack across the map. We'll lose a Hellion in the process. One Hellion goes down. Oh, doesn't quite get the Stalker. But herO, he bleeds out his units, and back at home, what is it to defend? Nothing. Warp Gate is still not done. One Stalker has arrived. It's going to be 2 Stalkers against how much? Against 3 Reapers and 1 Hellion. We'll see if Clem can break through. As Clem is still reinforcing, still rallying more Hellions and Reapers across the map. Doesn't quite break through initially. And there we go. 2 more Reapers have arrived. And Clem, he does bypass the Stalkers, heads straight into the main. But he's zoned away. So far, here he's keeping up. Is able to keep up. Blink is on the way. Catching out one of those Reapers, catching out a Hellion as well. Yeah, very nice cleanup. Then he takes out another Stalker. And soon to be another, actually. Yeah, not bad. In the end, the trades have been 3 Stalkers and 1 Adept for 3 Reapers and 3 Hellions. A back and forth trade. A more expensive trade for herO is what I will say. We don't have too many Stalkers early on. We see Clem continuing his aggression, going for a Widowmine drop follow-up into additional Raxes and a tank. Going into tank Raven. The aggression does not end. herO, though, he is ready for this. He has 2 Stalkers in the natural. Is in position. It's going to have our back and forth. With this defense, herO, he can now expand, getting a 3rd. Meanwhile, Clem is building up on 2 bases. Getting into more Marines, tanks, eventually into his upgrades, into Stim, combat shields. What of mine has arrived. Oh my god. That was very close. But herO defends. Losing 1 perp to the Widowmine. Likewise, herO, very nice blink, very nice positional play. Hunting down the Reapers, but they do get into the main. Just getting a scout, getting an eye on the gateways, getting an eye on the timing of the 3rd base. But last herO does defend. He defends, we can settle in. Is going to be the Bay and the Forge as a follow-up. Working towards eventually Colossus production and head towards the mid game. I mean, welcome one and all to King's Cove. King's Cove is one of the larger maps in the map pool. I know the last time we were here, we saw some crazy proxy and aggressive play in the PvP, but here in the PvT, we're headed towards the mid game into 3-way saturation. The 4th is more contentious. Here on King's Cove, the 4th base is much more exposed, specifically on this map. You can see here the center base, you can almost get a 360 surround. Here on the left-hand side as well, it's a little bit more isolated, so it can be quite difficult to maintain a 4th base and maintain a 5th base as well. The rush distance by ground does assist you, that is true, but we have seen a lot of shaky fights, or very contentious fights, I should say, in the center of the map. We'll see who's going to be the aggressor and who's able to assert themselves across the map, whether it's herO or Clem. As Clem is getting his 3rd TC and being more macro oriented, not going for a 2-base all-in. Likewise, Colossus production is well underway. First Colossus has arrived, and both players are just calming things down and building up. And we shouldn't really be seeing a move out until the upgrades kick in. I'm referring to combat shields and +1, and they're about to finish. And Clemmy moves out. Now the move out is spotted by the observer. herO, he's fully aware. He does spot the move out. herO should be proactive with his army to slow this down. For now, Raven Harass is keeping him busy. And herO is setting up a counter-attack. Okay, bold move. I mean, again, herO, he knows that the army's out in the middle of the map, so he knows that Clem is vulnerable back at home. Zealot drop is coming in. Raven Harass here towards the 3rd. Getting 3 probes. And boosting forward. Tanks, they do siege. And a quick siege here out of Clem. At the same time, Zealots, they bust into the mineral line. But there are reinforcements back at home. herO going for the warp in. Getting behind the main. The tanks are exposed. Yeah, tanks are exposed, going for the blink. Ooh, the blink is punished. Yeah, very good Widowmine positioning here from Clem. The tanks, they do siege up. And Clem, he's looking to deny the expansion. Force a cancel in the 4th. Oh my god, and the 4th base is going to be cancelled. Nicely done here by Clem. Again, that's all he wanted. All he wanted was deny the expansion and back off. So from here, he tries to retreat. Does siege up in time. Yeah, massive tank shots going up. Oof. herO trying to break through. He will get 1. He will get all 3 tanks. Just barely. The Colossus goes down. But herO will clean this up. It does even punish most of the reinforcements, most of the rallying army. 1 medevac survives. 2 marauders. And with that, who did have the better trade? On the one hand, Clem did kill the expansion, but imagine if Clem had gotten home with 3 tanks and with the rest of his army. That's the problem here. You can see it was 3 tanks, 11 marines, 2 medevacs going down. This army could have survived, but as we saw, Clem, he was intercepted. He didn't quite make it back home in time. And here he responds by double expanding. It makes sense. Like here, his base is late. It's behind, or he is behind. So he has to double expand to catch up. Raven Harass once again into the mineral line. Clem, he has to back off and lick his wounds. Getting into Viking production. And we have a back and forth. I think in general, I do favor Clem, just because of the delayed economy. It's going to take a little bit longer for it to really kick in. So until herO gets his 4th base and even his 5th saturated, he's still recovering. Meanwhile, Clem is taked up into Vikings and Ghosts. So far, Clem with a solid army. Also, did I open predictions in the chat? If not, I apologize. I think they were open. Wait, did I close them? Hold on. Hold on, I'll double check. I may not have. Observer gets put out. Okay, yeah. I just wasn't sure if I had open predictions. I did. They were open previously, but now we're settling in. Oh, meanwhile, we have herO getting himself, he's getting a 5th. He's getting a 5th Colossus. He's crazy. He has 4 up to 5. Usually we would stop at 3 and then work towards Disruptors instead. A very bold move here out of herO. Now, the reason why you don't build up this many Colossi is because of how much overkill they do, how much there's just extra damage or wasted DPS there is. Meanwhile, the army flanks in. Vikings, they shut down the first Colossus. And the Colossi, they're going to go down one after the other. This is not the fight to take here. herO's going to lose everything. He has to retreat. He has to back up. We'll lose 1, 2, 3. Soon to be all 4 Colossi. Yeah, and Clem just overwhelms the army. Snowball's out of control. This is also why you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, specifically when it comes to splash damage and PvT, when it comes to all those Colossi. Once one falls, so do the others. As Clem, he had plenty of Vikings. And here his army crumbles. He does have a standing army, but it's barely being held together. And Clem is almost maxed. He's almost maxed out at this point. They're catching out all the Stalkers. Good positional play here out of Clem. And here, I mean, even when it comes to the army that he has, it's mainly Zealot. It's a very cheap army, as it's all he can really make. Zealots say go for the tithe. Once again, Colossus goes down. There's no anti-air. There's nothing to stop the Vikings. Yeah, just absolutely nothing to stop those Vikings as both Colossus fall. And Clem, he can just stim and win from here. He can stim. He can win. Moves on forward, takes down the gateways. Barely any army left. EMP connects. Yeah, it was just a rough decision to move out when herO did, to be active when he did as well. Against that many Vikings. We have one Colossus coming in. Vikings, they just land once again, going for the stim. Colossus does survive. Okay, herO, he's holding on, just barely. Did cost him 15 workers, and the Colossus is barely still surviving. Oh no, it goes down. Colossus falls. Clem, he has to back up. And again, his reinforcements, it's just barely not enough for Clem, as he is being forced back. But again, Clem is under no real danger. He just waits for his reinforcements to arrive, as he still has enough to keep pushing. herO, he lost his 4th. Let's have more Zealot reinforcements. Now the EMP lands. Another EMP lands. We still have one Colossus remaining. Disruptor production now finally has begun. But it does feel a little bit too late for that. Technically, we have seen players with Disruptors recover from like a 30-40 supply deficit, but this is an 80 supply deficit. Like this is this is just far too much. No shot. Disruptors are good, but they're not that good. Colossus goes down. So does the 4th base. Sorry, the 5th base even. does reset the Viking count, but alas, herO, he's huffing a little bit of copium here at this point. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take game number 1. GG. GG again. Clem initially having a strong move out, a strong push, able to shut down and deny the 4th base, and we saw that herO, he had committed to just a heavy Colossus count, getting up to 5 Colossus, which was insane. We saw Disruptors, but that was at the end of the game. Typically, you do want to get into them a little bit earlier on to support your main army. Alas, instead, he just doubled down and committed into mass Colossus, and Clem was able to catch out the army, was able to overwhelm. With that, GG. GG, well played. That does give us game 1 in the books. Clem does take a lead, and now we're getting to game number 2. Let's go. Jumping into game 2. It's going to be on Frostline. It is going to be on Frostline. Meanwhile, Cure vs. Beyond, I believe, should be happening at the same time as this series. I believe they're still mid-series. They're over on the Korean server. We'll be catching up with that series after this. For now, though, we're jumping into game 2, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player from South Korea, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. I hope he can. It is herO. Here we go. So now we do have our setup. As a reminder, last game, Clem did open up double gas. He went for a double gas opener into Reactor Reaper Hellion. He was very committed early on with the Reactor Reaper Hellion. Didn't quite get a lot of economic damage, but he was able to trade with the Stalkers at least. We'll see how Clem does deviate and how he does adjust. So now one gas. Single gas opener this time, so Clem is going for a Rax into a faster command center, into a CC, most likely on the low ground. We'll see if he throws it down in a safer position on the high ground instead. We'll see how safe or how greedy he is. As herO will confirm. Moves down to the low ground. And will attempt to delay the expansion. As Clem has the minerals, and there it is. CC has been thrown down. So as opposed to the previous game, Clem is going to have a much more economic start. This means that herO is going to be much more comfortable in the early game, should be able to maintain himself, and instead it's going to be up to herO to try to punish this in some way. As he does hide the probe behind the mineral line. Does try to keep it hidden. Probe dips in too soon. Too soon here. As it was mistimed. Probe goes down to the Reaper, so ideally you want to wait a couple more seconds, wait for the Reaper to leave like it is right now, and then the probe goes in to delay the expansion, but that was a little bit premature out of herO. With that, the probe goes down, and Clem can freely move out. Meanwhile, we do see herO opening up with the Twilight Council. Clem is looking for proxies, making sure there is no hidden gateway. It is going to be Twilight Council, should be Blink from the side of herO. And Clem back at home just getting to his own 1-1-1 setup. It should be one Rax, one Factory into one Starport. Adept has arrived, will threaten the Shade. Same time, Clem, he bypasses the main army, moving out across the map. There's that Starport in production. Adept does come into the Shade. Second Adept does come in from behind. Marine's going to be going down. Not bad. One Adept falls. Meanwhile, the Reaper gets surrounded. Gets 2 probes, though. Not bad. But herO's getting even more done. 3 SCVs. 3 SCVs go down. Lost mine time as well in the main base. Not bad. Nice economic damage out of herO. And we do see Clem following this up with a double Widow Mine drop. Going for more committed drop play. And again, the purpose of this mine drop is not to do damage. The purpose of the mine drop, I mean, damage is just a little bit of a bonus here. It's a cherry on top. But really it's just for scouting. Just to get a read on the tech of choice, whether it's the Twilight Council or Stargate, how many gateways, how committed is the tech, how late or how early is the expansion. Again, just a little scouting information for Clem. Does move out. herO shutting down the Hellion. Clem dropping into the natural. Does boost in. Going for the drop. Here he does react in time. Pulls away. Widow Mine into the main. Likewise. The retarding. Oh, okay. Retarding a little bit late. Just going to be 2 probe kills. 2 workers going down. Back at home. Clemmy defends. On sound of Stalker. And so far so good. And as we mentioned, with that we do scouts. It's 3 gateways in the main base. We have 1 gateway in the natural, 4 gate blink. Checking the vision, I believe Clem saw everything. Yep, he saw all the gateways that herO has. He knows he has to set up defensively back at home. Bunkers, tanks. There's 1 bunker on the low ground, 1 tank so far, 2nd tank's on the way. I do feel like herO is vulnerable, especially in the main base, and we'll see if herO can push in. Again, herO, he intentionally delayed his 3rd in favor of extra gateways and extra warp pins. And he's going for the tank. But the 2nd tank has arrived just in time. herO, he's rallying across the map. It's on herO to break through. There it is, warping in 4 stalkers at a time. Pushing towards the natural, he blinks in. Goes to the dive. Oh, he gets punished for it. It's going to be bleeding out 1, 2, 3 stalkers. But herO did get the tank. That might just be enough. Going behind the mineral line. Picking off some SCVs. Going for the warping as well. And there barely is not another auto turret. Yeah, boys are being pulled, and herO is not trading too badly here, at least not yet. Auto turret gets thrown down. Blinking further into the natural. Getting 14 SCVs. And he does save the stalkers, at least 4 of them. 14 SCVs going down, dropping into the main. Catching on more SCVs, at least trying to. Last Clem, he will defend. Does defend, but that was a lot of economic damage. Now, there is a bit of a give and take here. Oh. And that is the fact that herO has yet to expand. 4-gate blink is not necessarily an all-in, but you do typically expand behind the move-outs. herO has not. So on the one hand, that was some good economic damage, but on the other hand, I would say that Clem, he still has a better economy. He's up in SCVs plus mules. herO just now expanding. It is a late 3rd base for herO. Wait, what? I was a little bit perplexed, but okay. Double prism harass, let's go. They're not even hitting in different places, just double prism into the main. And they're both gonna be denied. I am a little bit concerned for herO, not gonna lie. herO rotating. Looking for another way in. Alas, this time stim is done. Observer does confirm the tank setup here at the natural. 3rd TC in the main, confirming that there is no 2-base all in from the side of Clem. But Clem is looking good. It's looking quite solid here. He's got 4 tanks. herO back at home, he has to expand. Taking up into DTs, into Shadow Stride as well. Shadow Stride got cancelled. But here comes the Dark Templar. I mean, when behind, right? When behind our... Nope! Oh my god. Calm down. The warp is... Clemmy moves out. Well, the War Prism does hit the main. Marines are in position though. Oh no! Prism goes down. 3 DTs as well. That was a big loss. That was a massive loss for herO. 4 Dark Templar and a Prism. For what? For what? 2 Marines? As more Marines are getting picked up here on the front lines. Clem does stim forward. Tank's getting within range as well. And herO's up against the wall, and Immortal goes down. Stalkers, they commit to the dive. The punish is real. The tank volleys and the Widowmines as well. And Clem is just snowballing out of control. We'll pick off every single Immortal, and there's almost nothing left to defend. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played, congratulations, a solid performance there out of Clem. And without my condolences to herO. It was an intense series, what I will say, and game 1 was more back and forth, definitely. Game 1 was a little more back and forth, but in the end, Clem, he was just a little bit too solid. And likewise, as we were emphasizing here in game 2, even though herO did kill 14 SCVs, it was not enough damage, because herO was basically all in. I was shocked myself when I saw that herO had not expanded. He had not expanded, he had not taken a third base for so long. Because of that, he had to do even more damage. By the end of it, Clem was still up in SCVs, and he was still up in mules and up in economy. GG. GG, well played.